Championship presented by Capital One. You are watching the Final Four presented by AT&T. South Carolina is through to the national championship game. Who will join them? Will it be Texas or UCLA? Texas seeking their first title game appearance since 1986. UCLA, their first ever NCAA title game appearance. Here we go.
When the players enter and the light is cast, the focus is set to extreme. In the frenetic cameras and the anxious crowd, the clicks are calls to action. Moments will enter the timeless space where memory and myth intertwine. So much passion, perceived from every angle, imprinted on every mind as they perform the role of a lifetime.
These magic moments.
Now they have the chance to rise and be immortalized.
Here we go. Another spot in the national championship game on the line. Tonight, South Carolina ended UConn's 54-game winning streak. And will they face UCLA or Texas Sunday on ABC? As we welcome you courtside once again, Ryan Ruocco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. So happy to be with you for this second Final Four matchup here on ESPN. You know, for Texas, they are a team that has just had it all clicking over their 12-game winning streak. And that has meant an incredibly efficient and productive Madison Booker.
Madison Booker simply is a bucket getter, and she gets most of them in her mid-range game. In the NCAA tournament, she's averaging over 22 points a game, 9 boards, doing it efficiently. Coach Vic Schaefer said, I want her hunting shots, and this is why. So pretty when she gets to that mid-range, also can step out to 3, but certainly the catalyst offensively for Texas.
130 of the 160 minutes Texas has played in this tournament, they have led by double digits. Meanwhile, for UCLA, they are led by their 6'7" center, Lauren Betts.
Lauren Betts is the anchor inside for the Bruins, and she's a dominant force on both ends of the floor. Averages 17 points, 2 blocks per game. When she carves out space in the paint, there's not much you can do to defend her or score over her. She is going to be vitally important to UCLA's success today.
And how about this nugget? 89% of UCLA's points come from their senior class, highest by a Final Four team in tournament history. Time to send things over to another Hall of Famer. Here is Holly Rowe.
Well, as you mentioned, these two teams met before this season, and Texas guard Rory Harmon went off 26 points in that game. And after that game, the UCLA guards, Kiki Rice and Charlize Ledger-Walker, went to their coach, Corey Close, and said, we've got to change our defense. They were laying off of her, giving her space to account for her speed, and they said, we don't like that. We want to be up in people's grill, be more offensive, and be more aggressive. Corey Close listened to her players, and they have changed the way they defend. Those two players limit opponents to 33% now from the field when they are the primary defender, and you're going to see that here tonight. They are going to get up in Rory Harmon's face, pressure her, particularly the first 10 minutes of the game. Good coaching from Corey Close to listen to her players.
All right, Ollie, it is time to get to know UCLA a little bit better. Now it's time for the Capital One Meet the Players.
It really is a revolution.
I'm number 51, Lauren Betts, and this is my team. Kiki Rice, but on our team we call her Gagai. Gabriella Hawkes, we call her All Gas Gabs. Our little Kiwi from New Zealand, Miss Charlize Ledger-Walker. From Minnesota, Gianna Neepkins, otherwise known as Neat Neat. Our fearless leader, Miss Corey Close.
Well, Corey Close in her 15th season leading UCLA has taken them to their only 2 Final Fours in the NCAA era. And Vic Schaefer, his 6th season at the helm of Texas. They are in back-to-back Final Fours for the first time since 1987. Let's get to know Vic's players a little bit better. Time for the Capital One. Meet the players.
What's up, y'all? Bree Preston. Meet your starting 5 for the Texas Longhorns. First up, we got Rory Harmon, the locksmith, a.k.a. your defensive nightmare. We got Jordan Lee, a.k.a. Green Bean. We got Justice Carlton, Body J. We got Madison Booker, mid-range specialist.
All right, what? This is a movie poster or something?
Last but not least, Brea Cunningham, Paint Patrol. Leading ahead of the snake, we got Coach Schaefer, a.k.a. Shape.
Oh, there's nothing quite like Coach Schaefer's scuba there in the middle of his Texas team. Another spot in the national championship game on the line tonight after South Carolina's dominant defensive performance against UConn. Will it be UCLA or will it be Texas to join them? Rebecca, these two teams met earlier in the regular season. A 76-65 Texas win. UCLA's only loss this season. They have won 29 straight games since that moment.
Certainly a big key for UCLA always is, can they get Lauren Betts involved on the offensive end of the floor? In the first meeting, Texas did an admirable job limiting Betts.
Texas has just bludgeoned opponents of late. 12 straight wins. They've won by an average of 26.5 points. Here we go. This Final Four matchup between UCLA and Texas is underway.
See Texas starting out in man-to-man. They deny hard and make it difficult to even catch the ball. You see that here.
Finally, Neepkins with the shot clock all the way whittled down to 10. Gianna Neepkins looking for a lane. The pull-up rims off. And the rebound secured by Brea Cunningham.
Vic Schaefer in his practice yesterday continued to emphasize to his team the importance of the defensive board.
Booker too smooth.
Because UCLA is a terrific offensive rebounding team, second in offensive rebound rate this season. How about Madison Booker? Coach Schaefer wants her hunting shots, gets her the first look of the game.
We asked Corey Close, how are you going to deal with the physicality of Texas? She said, I'm going to try and get our team mad, get them fired up, and make sure they know you're going to have to play through some contact. As Rice can't hit the three. Here's Booker off the glass. Harmon lobbing it in. Carlton the deep catch. And throws it away. Ledger Walker off the steal. Lost the handle. Neepkins back ironing off. Long rebound. Neepkins comes down with it and lays it in. Gianna Neepkins, the Utah grad transfer. One of just 8 active Division I players with 2,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 300 assists.
Rare 50, 40, 90 player in the women's college game.
Here's Lee. Lee got bumped, unable to flip it in. Betts the rebound. Rice bounces in. Gabriela Jaquez out to Betts. Little midi is good.
Really nice way to get Betts the look. You have Jaquez post up, and then she dribbles over and gives Betts the little mid-range. You would expect to be the reverse in terms of which of your players you have on the block.
UCLA's entire starting lineup, seniors. Rory Harmon, the senior leader for Texas. Carlton got bumped. Stood up by Neepkins. Flips it out. Lee, 7 to shoot. Trying to create with 4. Lee on the drive. Unable to bank it in. Jordan Lee, who was excellent first 3 games of the tournament, was just 2 for 17 in the Elite 8.
Terrific 2 defensive possessions by UCLA, though, forcing Lee to go one-on-one late in the shot clock.
Neepkins, a deep one. It is good. What a start for the Bruins.
One of the things Corey Close told us yesterday is we have to hit first, and then we have to be able to go punch for punch. Great start for UCLA.
And some unfamiliar territory for Texas. They have trailed for just 8 minutes and 44 seconds total during their 12-game winning streak as Harmon buries the mid-range.
You see that action consistently from Texas, just players running off of baseline screens, and you see what Texas does here, just trying to make even inbounding the basketball a challenge.
They have forced by far and away the most 5-second violations in the country this season. Jaquez on the attack, contested by Booker. Neepkins comes away with it. Ledger Walker loses it out of bounds, and it will be Texas basketball.
The ball goes into the right block, and Jaquez does a good job. A couple of dribbles, shovels it out to Lauren Betts for the good look, and Gianna Neepkins. You do not want to lose her when she's outside the three-point line. Outstanding three-point shooter.
43% on the season, 43% in her career. Remember, a couple years ago, under Lynn Roberts, Utah looked like a potential Final Four team, and then Neepkins went down with a knee injury. He's been a key piece for UCLA this year. Here's Booker, fading, doesn't hit that one. Gets the box out, and Dugalich in off the bench for UCLA. Rice through traffic. Betts guarded by Cunningham. A crowd comes. Betts unfazed.
Lauren Betts just handled that post up beautifully. Not only did the double team come, there was physicality there, and she had the fade away, but did not shy away, and still able to get it to drop.
Lee looking in. Lee has it ripped away. Dugalich ahead to Jaquez. That looked like a clear foul on Booker, was not called.
There's been a lot of physicality here early in this game. That's what you expect from a very tough Texas team.
Sid Berrien off the bench guarding Rice. Neepkins turning, taking, no. We do have Dee Kantner, our outstanding rules analyst, with us to break things down all game long. Booker will fire. Rims off. Long rebound, Neepkins. She's been a factor on the glass as well. Too tall on the pass there for Betts, and a timeout on the floor. 4:29 to go in the first. Good start here for Lauren Betts and the Bruins.
Certainly Lauren Betts showing her offensive prowess. We saw the little baseline jumper here. Double team comes, spins, absorbs contact, hits the shot. 6-7, feeling good to start this one.
Well, UCLA has a plethora of seniors. In fact, their top 6 scorers this season, all seniors. It doesn't stop there. Entering tonight, 836 combined games, 10,330 combined points from those seniors for UCLA. And the first time that Texas and UCLA played, the Bruins played just 6 players, all of them seniors. You see that senior Lauren Betts coaching up her team on the bench in that first time out.
And Corey Close now probably only goes 7 deep, and the only other player coming off the bench will be freshman Sienna Betts, Lauren's younger sister.
One of the top recruits in the nation this past year. Here's Lee. Lee cradling, turning, taking, missing. Sid Berry able to yank it away, but UCLA hangs on. Just get the feeling Texas is going to need Jordan Lee to break out of this little mini game plus slump.
And Vic Schaefer is very intentional coming out of timeout, so certainly that play was drawn up to get Lee a look.
Betts, deep catch, little hook, can't pop it in, gets it back, short, rebound Cunningham. Cunningham goes down, grabbing out that left leg, now goes back to her feet. Lori Harmon has said many times throughout this tournament run, job's not finished. Texas experienced the Final Four last year, looking for a title this year. Cunningham, no.
Texas continuing to run the dribble drive offense. We saw an earlier possession involving Lauren Betts as a defender in a pick and roll. She plays drop coverage. You wonder if Vic Schaefer will go to that with Madison Booker as the ball handler.
That's going to be a foul on Sidbury. Hey, courtside of the women's Final Four, presented by AT&T. Jess Sims, Katie Feeney, the Stud Bugs, Alona Mayer, all there courtside. We saw Letitia Heidemann between games, and she said, I'm not going to lie, guys, this TV stuff you do is hard.
I think being a stud bud is probably hard.
Probably pretty difficult, too. But, you know, instead we told Letitia, that's right, make sure to tell everyone exactly that who consumes the broadcast. Here's Ledger Walker, Duga Leach. Duga, yes! Connecting from downtown. She was massive in the fourth quarter for UCLA in their win against Duke in the Elite Eight. And now UCLA has handed Texas their largest deficit of the tourney. Just 4 points thus far for the Longhorns. Booker in the corner, a three, way off the mark. Sienna Betts in for UCLA. Texas has missed its last 5 attempts. Backdoor, Hodges lays it in. How about this start for the Bruins?
You want to soften up a defense, and the best way to do that is by stepping out and hitting a three. Duga Leach able to do that. And then when the defense gets into deny, how do you soften it this time? With the backdoor cut. The seniors coming through for UCLA.
Capital One, what's in your wallet? The Final Four is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Great start for UCLA, a 14-4 lead on Texas. Winner will join South Carolina in the national championship game. Let's send things over to Holly Rowe.
Well, this is the largest deficit they've faced since February 12th at Vanderbilt. That was the turning point in their season. You may remember after that game, Vic Schaefer calling his team out saying, we're not tough, we're not playing with heart. Well, in that last timeout right there, I was listening into his huddle, and there's a similar message. What the heck are we doing? He wants to know why they're not running their offense more. No screens are being set, no inside game. We're not playing with pace. He said, what the heck are we doing? He wants his team to settle down and try to get back to what they do best. He said, we're not making them uncomfortable at all. That's got to start now.
I think Texas is trying to make UCLA uncomfortable, and UCLA has just been handling it beautifully. We've seen so many teams have 5-second inbound violations. Texas has forced 30 of those on the season, by far more than any other team. And one of the things that Vic Schaefer was harping on with his team yesterday is their defensive rebounding. We saw a couple of times in practice where they gave up an offensive board to the practice team and had to run sprints as a result. But here, UCLA playing to their strength, 3 offensive rebounds already.
And a +6 on the glass. UCLA on a 7-0 run. Look at that. My goodness. I don't know that you could come out of a timeout any worse than that.
Just see here, Madison Booker, ball's thrown behind her, and she can't corral it. Understandably, Vic Schaefer frustrated.
And Vic Schaefer's going deep in his bench early. We've seen games where he'll ride his entire starting 5 the full first quarter. You already had Taya Sidbury come in. Now you have Leah Crump, the freshman, as well as Ashton Judd into the game. And a foul there is going to go against Texas. And they will call it on Cunningham, her first.
Yeah, it was Brea Cunningham trying to hedge out hard on the on-ball screen and just didn't get there quickly enough.
There's Kyla Oldacre, who had 12 points, 11 rebounds in the Elite Eight. She is a huge difference maker off the bench for Texas. Jaquez having trouble getting it in. Finally finds Dugalich. Jaquez trying to save it, could not. Texas basketball. You know, we see the freshmen crump into the game for the Longhorns, and one thing Jordan Lee, Rory Harmon, Madison Booker all emphasized to us before the Sweet 16. They said, we know Crump's minutes haven't been up, but at some point in this tournament, she is going to make a huge difference for us.
She has struggled so far, only 3 of 14 during the NCAA tournament, but certainly with her size and ability to hit from deep can be impactful.
Oldacre sneaks in for 2.
Oldacre certainly unbothered. That it's a rare time where she's going against a defender who is bigger and longer than she.
1:20 to go in this first. Booker takes it away. Possession arrow belongs with Texas. Hey, the NCAA Men's Championship Final Four begins tomorrow, 6 Eastern on TBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. UConn men will be carrying the torch for Stores now after South Carolina upset the Huskies in the first one tonight. Judd putting it on the deck, turning the corner, gets denied. Dugalich with a little stare after the rejection.
Dugalich got beat by a step, but still has the space to block that shot. Shot blockers love space to get to the basketball.
I don't know if she said something in Serbian afterwards. Booker finds Oldacre, center of the lane, didn't have the handle of it. Poked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Texas.
We continue to see Texas, though, going deep into the shot clock for many of their possessions. We have not seen that a lot throughout the course of this tournament, Ryan.
Well, and Vic Schaefer has consistently said to us, the main reason why he's so much more confident this year, he said, we can score, y'all. He said, we used to have to eke out wins in the 60s and 50s, but they have not been able to score in this first quarter against UCLA. Booker on the drive, can't whip it in. She's now 1 of 5 from the floor. Rice knocked out of bounds. No, it'll stay in. Rice gets it back, now throws it away. Crump has it for Texas. 15 seconds left in this first. Texas has missed 8 of its last 9 shots. They're just 3 of 13 in the quarter. Harmon gets fouled by Ledger Walker.
I would imagine Corey was frustrated because there's been a lot of physicality throughout this first quarter that hasn't been called. And that's what happened. You see her talking to the official right now. That's what we saw happen in their regular season meeting as well.
That was UCLA's only loss of the season. Booker gets it in, gets it back, elevates, can't hit. That'll do it for the first. Booker just 1 of 6 from the floor in the first. UCLA a 14-6 lead after 1. They hold Texas to a season low for points in a quarter. Holly Rowe will chat with Vic Schaefer on the other side here in Phoenix. Well, UCLA a 14-6 lead after the first quarter in this Final Four matchup. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with Texas head coach Vic Schaefer.
Well, Coach Schaefer, a low-scoring first quarter for you. What is UCLA doing to make that so difficult right now?
I don't think they're doing as much as we're doing to ourselves. We're just not taking very good shots. We've taken some really bad shots. We've taken some forced jump shots. We're not attacking the rim. When we do get to our spots, we just hadn't made them. But I don't think it's them as much as us.
How do you fix it?
Well, I think you've got to address it. You got to keep talking to them about it. I mean, we've run some good stuff. We got late in the shot clock a couple times. Rory's got to get us in something a little quicker. And then defensively, our 4 players have both given up 2 3-pointers. So we got to get a little better there, too, on defense.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, praise the Lord and hook 'em on.
All right, thank you, Holly. Thank you, Vic. Well, this is the second game of the night, and the first one, a dominant South Carolina win with an incredible defensive performance. But the headline is going to be these fireworks. Now, pregame, Dawn Staley and Gino Auriemma had shaken hands when they first came out, but then Gino apparently thought Dawn was going to come back out for a handshake, was waiting for her. She didn't come a second time, and at the end of the game, Gino then goes after Dawn. They get into it, have to be separated by their assistants, and Gino then ended up walking back alone. There was still a little time left on the clock. Dawn did shake hands with all the other assistants afterwards and said, I would never do that. I would never do that. And Gino at the podium moments ago said, I said what I said. Probably a moment he would like to have back and done a little differently, but apparently isn't feeling that way yet, according to his comments at the podium as of now.
I'll say this as it pertains to that exchange. Gino Auriemma, this is his 25th Final Four. 13 times he has gone out without a championship, and every other time he has lost with class. And frustrating kind of to see what transpired at the end of that game, of course.
And, you know, the biggest headline should be just how incredible South Carolina played. They were remarkably poised, unbothered the whole game, and the aggressors defensively, they dictated everything in that semifinal.
Certainly, South Carolina came out and certainly won that game, and you're seeing here a different aggressiveness from Texas.
Judd trying to track it down, and Bex comes up with it. So now the question is, who will meet the Gamecocks in Sunday's national championship game? Ledger Walker working behind Betts. Harmon hits the deck, no whistle. Neepkins was left alone and pops it in.
Great job by Neepkins there. Fake, looked like she might pass the ball up to Lauren Betts. That made the defender take another step off, and then Neepkins had the open look.
Booker, mid-range, no. Oldacre palms it right into the face of Rice. Booker 1 of 7 to start this game. An outlier compared to her usual efficiency. Neepkins off one leg, drops it short. Here's Crump, getting a lot of minutes in this first half. Booker trying to find some space. Great job by Neepkins to cut her off. Crump with 3, won't go. Oldacre the rebound, and then a travel is called on Kyla Oldacre.
We say outstanding defense by Gianna Neepkins on one end of the floor. And previous offensively, you'll see her catch the basketball. Just looks, the little fake Oldacre takes it, and then Neepkins can get the clean little look for the 2-footer.
Well, during the 12-game winning streak, Texas trailed for a total of 8 minutes and 44 seconds. Tonight, they have already trailed for almost 10 minutes. So we will see how the Longhorns respond. Neepkins turns the corner, gets denied by Crump. Booker creeping up the floor, the hesitation, couldn't pizza pie it in. Addison Booker hit her first shot. She has missed her last 7 now. Rice in trouble. And a jump ball is called as Texas forces the tie-up.
And so far, we've seen a pretty physical game, and certainly over the course of 4 quarters, that's going to benefit Texas. Why? Well, they have a much deeper bench than UCLA does. If fouls start to get called, put any players into foul trouble, and that's just the way Texas plays on the defensive end of the floor with a lot of physicality. But certainly UCLA has been able to match it here in the first half.
Our rules analyst, D. Cantner, with us. D, anything you're seeing from that physicality that perhaps could be called, should be called, that hasn't been thus far? As Booker misses again.
I have not seen anything. I mean, there have been calls that could go either way. I mean, both teams are playing very physically on the perimeter. I think the officials are being consistent at this point, but to Rebecca's point, it could change.
All right, thank you, D. Knocked out of bounds by Oldacre. Points have been hard to come by tonight. Saw it in the South Carolina-UConn game, and we're seeing it with UCLA and Texas. As looks like Vic Schaefer wants to appeal this out of bounds. Remember, coaches can appeal an unlimited amount of times. But they barter with a timeout when they do.
The ruling on the floor is UCLA basketball. The play is being appealed by Texas.
We'll take a look as we go to break. Does it hit Betts after Oldacre? Ooh, it does.
After review, UCLA number 51 clearly and conclusively touches the ball last. Therefore, the call on the floor is overturned. It will be Texas basketball with a new 30-second shot clock. Additionally, Texas will not be charged for a timeout for the successful appeal.
Oh, there's Connor Hickson and that twirling finger of his, now 10 of 11 on the season.
He's the coordinator of video analytics. Now, Texas had the most appeals all season of any of the four teams here in the Final Four, and he has the greatest success rate of any team here in the Final Four, so give some love to Connor.
A 16-8 UCLA lead, 6:42 to go in this second.
And if you're curious, UCLA 5 of 7 on appeals this season, so quite a bit fewer.
Harmon, Booker, Judd, Oldacre, and Crump, the 5 for Texas. Lee has been on the bench for an extended period of time for the Longhorns. Here's Judd. Off to Harmon, bounces Oldacre, great set.
Beautifully executed. Harmon draws 2 and just makes the easy bounce pass.
Oldacre with 4 points and off the bench. UCLA 1 of 7 from the floor off the dribble, 6 of 9 on passes. And Crump and Judd all over Neepkins, force the turnover. Harmon like a blur. Oldacre gives it back. Harmon, mid-range, sure.
Tough shot by Rory Harmon, and on a night where Madison Booker has struggled with her mid-range, Harmon able to get to hers. She's 3 for 3 now from the floor.
She scored 26 in the first meeting between these teams. Third most she's had in a game in her career. Betts twisting, taking, and hitting.
Lauren Betts pushed off the block, catches a few feet outside the paint, still able to convert. She's done a nice job here so far.
The rest of Texas 3 of 19, while Harmon is 3 for 3. Harmon working behind Oldacre. Booker has been ineffective, 1 of 9 thus far. Twisting, that is short. Judd the rebound. Had Harmon, now it's Crump. She got it. First 3 of the game for the Longhorns.
It's always the best way to get an open look for your three-point shooter is when everyone is collapsed in off of the offensive rebound.
Crump, the number 5 recruit in the nation this past year. Ledger Walker just stays in. The pull-up jumper, no. Here comes Booker. Texas with some momentum. Booker, the crossover, the pull, the miss. Now 1 of 11 from the floor. Vic Schaefer always honored to keep hunting shots as Crump knocks that floater out of bounds.
Rory Harmon has been terrific, getting to her mid-range all season long, able to get there, and then the miss by Madison Booker. Offensive board, all of the UCLA players are in the near the paint. Great pass out to Crump for the wide open three.
If you're Vic Schaefer, do you want Booker to keep shooting? I mean, you'd think there'd be a regression to the mean at some point, but she has missed 10 straight.
Maybe you make her more of a facilitator and then hope she regroups come the third quarter, but you certainly don't want to discourage her looking for her shots.
Wow. Oh my goodness, all kinds of contact and no whistle. Corey Close apoplectic as Harmon can't hit. UCLA playing through it. Here's Sienna Betts. Jaquez, center of the lane, gets the roll. Gabriela Jaquez, the younger sister of Jaime Jaquez of the Miami Heat. Second team all Big Ten this season.
Nice curl by Jaquez to get into the paint and hit that little floater.
Harmon gives it up. Crump bounces in. Oldacre, 5 to shoot. Flips it up and off. Rice the rebound. Here comes Kiki Rice. Kicking. Ledger Walker will pull. Short. Harmon, what a crossover. The mid-range. Missed it. Texas shooting 25% from the floor in this first half.
Keep your eye on Gabriela Jaquez and the way she's running the floor every single possession.
Harmon picks the pocket. Rory Harmon lays it in.
Rory Harmon makes the opposing team's point guard work so hard every single time down the floor.
Harmon, the program's all-time leader in steals and assists. Ledger Walker having trouble with her again. Here's Dugalich. Rice looking to take Judd, wiggles it back. Yet to score in this first half. Rice on the drive, missed the layup. Rebound Booker, out and running. Booker trying to get to the cup and a foul called on Jaquez.
Kyla Oldacre coming down, able to get a great block on Kiki Rice. And then Rory Harmon, how many times have we seen her do just that? Just pick the pocket, go the other way for an easy two.
Well, coming up, it's the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. Yeah, Janae, Drea, and Christine, they've had nothing to talk about tonight. No juice for them to swirl around on set so far tonight. They've done a wonderful job all season long. Looking forward to hearing from the ladies at the half as Texas turns it over.
See some of Jaquez's versatility as she brings the ball down the floor.
Neepkins misfires, Cunningham the rebound. Booker directing traffic. Booker slides in, fades, still can't hit. It's been that kind of half for Booker now, 1 of 12. Poke from behind and a foul is going to go against Texas. It'll be Madison Booker, that is her first.
And we saw Jaquez run the floor again aggressively. And what I was talking about before, that's the player that Madison Booker is defending. So you are forcing Madison Booker, even after she misses a shot, to sprint down the other way. That kind of effort by Jaquez can have a cumulative effect on the opponent throughout the course of a game.
1:17 to go in this first half. UCLA a 3-point lead on Texas. Dugalich takes the three. Rice backs it away. Neepkins won't take it. Lobbing it in. Betts surrounded. Gets it out. Jaquez. No. Rebound hits the floor. Lands in the lap of Carlton. Brianna Preston into the game for Texas now. a very different rotation in general from Vic Schaefer in this first half.
Just trying to find something that will work on the offensive end.
Preston, 6 to shoot, spinning, left alone, will take, can't hit. Rebound Dugalich.
Again, one-on-one late in the shot clock. Just what Vic Schaefer told Holly Rowe he was not liking from his team offensively.
Vic Schaefer telling his team they have a foul to give. 5-second difference game in shot clock. Rice. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the hook.
Kiki Rice trying to be aggressive, make something happen, go towards the rim. You see it right here with her right hand. Yeah, absolutely a hook. That's the right call. Preston does a good job accentuating it by putting her arms straight up in the air so the officials can see it.
The jacket came off early tonight for Vic Schaefer. Preston, 3 seconds, kicks, Crumb. No. And that'll do it for the first half. A struggle to score for both teams in a grinded-out opening 2 quarters. UCLA with the 20-17 lead at the half. Winner faces South Carolina Sunday afternoon on ABC. Lauren Betts is standing by with Holly.
Lauren, your team's gotten off to a strong start in that first quarter. What drove that?
I mean, I think it's just our mentality defensively. We're limiting them to one shot, so we just have to continue to play hard on the defensive side.
Texas is such a physical team. You guys knew that coming in. How do you think you've handled it so far?
I think we've handled it well, but we need to do a better job. There's still 20 minutes left in this game, so we got to continue to come out aggression, stop playing so much on the perimeter, get inside, be aggressive.
Said by the big.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Well, Lauren Betts and UCLA a 3-point lead at the half. Studio crew coming up next with Janae, Trey, and Christine. We're going to hear from Gino Auriemma after his confrontation with Dawn Staley following UConn's loss to South Carolina. We'll hear from Gino coming up at the half. Watching the Final Four presented by AT&T. Getting ready to start the third quarter of UCLA and Texas. UCLA a 20-17 lead on Texas. South Carolina already through to the national championship game Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Hey again, everybody. Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. Time now for a slam dunk matchup brought to you by Wendy's. How about the defense from Lauren Betts in that first half?
She had one block, but she was incredibly impactful, especially contesting Madison Booker there. Sort of drop coverage, but then is able to switch on out. Just a long defensive presence around the rim. Madison Booker with the pull-up. Outstretched arm to contest it. Fade away once again. 6'7". Outstretched arm. She was a big part of the reason that Madison Booker struggled so much in that first half.
Now for tonight's Need to Know, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Lauren Betts holding Texas to 1 of 8 when contesting shots. Madison Booker 0 for 5 against Betts in that first half. Both teams with their fewest points in any half this season. 37 combined, the second fewest in a half in Final Four history. Rory Harmon 4 of 6. The rest of Texas 4 for 26. And UCLA has won 72 straight games when leading at the half. Texas came into this game looking like a buzzsaw over the last month, but UCLA starts the second half with the lead. Here's Ledger Walker. UCLA has won 29 straight and an early foul there on Cunningham. That'll be her third. So 3 on Brea Cunningham, and Kyla Oldacre quickly in off the bench.
Yeah, the bigs for Texas trying to prevent Lauren Betts from getting decent position in the paint because she can be automatic when she does.
Rice giving it up. Neefkins kicking it out. Ledger Walker. No. Betts the board. Another chance here for UCLA. Lee got a hand on it. Rice controls it. Rice able to bank it in.
That was a great take by Kiki Rice. Why? Because as soon as she got Lee on her hip, she kept her there. She was intentional with the dribble so that she would have the lane to the basket.
First points of the game for Kiki Rice. Booker on the drive. Net by Betts. Elevates. No. Oldacre, the putback. She's fouled. Oldacre will go to the line.
You see Kiki Rice here. As soon as she gets Lee on her hip, what does she do? She just navigates, just change of pace. But when you feel the defender there, you know you can get into their body and finish. And then on this end of the floor, we showed you all the contests from Lauren Betts. Well, when Betts is contesting Booker, that means Betts is not boxing out the big, and as a result, Oldacre able to get the O board.
Let's send things over to Holly Rowe.
But Kyla Oldacre has had a challenge in her career. In 2022, she was rushed to the ER with a problem that later required surgery and removal of 9 benign tumors in her abdomen. She was hospitalized for 2 weeks. And so now she gets banged in that abdomen all the time. She has to wear a special pad during practice, but that does not deter her in any way. She says, I'm a bull out there. I'm just not a bulldozer. Try to be a bull, not a bulldozer, but she has been a resilient young woman.
And there is a difference. Both free throws there. Needkins backing down, can't hit.
It's okay to be a bull on a basketball court. You just can't be one in a China shop, right?
That's right, that's right. Jordan Lee only played 8 minutes in the first half. In there to start the second is Oldacre off a great delivery from Harmon. Lays it in.
Texas has gotten good at that in terms of getting some dribble penetration and just throwing the ball up for your big to go get it when you draw defense off of that penetration.
Jaquez, the runner, is short. Oldacre contested it. Here comes Lee. Lee in space. Harmon directing traffic. Has it knocked away and taken by Rice. Kiki Rice then loses it out of bounds. Last hit Lee. Hey, for the 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Our championship special with the studio crew, 2:30 Eastern on ABC Sunday. And tip-off at 3:30 Eastern. Dawn Staley's team will be there. Will they face UCLA or Texas? South Carolina will be going for a 4th national championship. Jaquez twisting away. Can't get it to drop. Not going to bounce by Oldacre. It'll be UCLA ball. There goes the finger from Connor. And once again, Texas is going to appeal. Connor Hickson was twirling that index finger.
And then so was Vic Schaefer, running down the sideline.
So Texas will appeal. They're 1 for 1 already tonight. 10 of 11 on the season.
The ruling on the floor is UCLA basketball. The play is being appealed by Texas.
This is Vic Schaefer's version of a Texas two-step.
Heart emoji. Heart emoji. Aww.
The best group chats happen in real life.
He's so funny. I love you guys.
Do you want your vehicle to look showroom new, inside and out? Cerakote, the industry leader in ceramic coatings, makes it easy with our complete car care system. Start every wash with Cerakote's high foam vehicle shampoo. Then clean the interior, coat your tires, paint, plastics, and even restore cloudy headlights and faded trim back to like new. The final result? Unmatched performance and long-lasting protection, guaranteed. With over 80,000 5-star reviews and more #1 bestsellers than any other brand, you can trust Cerakote. Buy now.
After review, UCLA number 51 touches the ball last. Therefore, the call on the floor is overturned. It will be Texas basketball with a new 30-second shot clock. Also, with the successful appeal, they will not be charged a timeout.
All right, so Connor Hickson 2 for 2. And Texas 11 of 12 on the season. Yeah, Connor, have yourself a day, man. It's the Final Four. UCLA a 3-point lead on Texas. Let's check in with Holly.
Very close in that last timeout for UCLA's address some defensive changes they need to make to the ball screens. But then she talked about their offense. Please, please, please. Entry passes. Why aren't we trying to use our entry passes and run our offense? The very first play of the game, great entry pass, great look, running our offense. She needs to get them back on track. 12 turnovers right now. Texas frustrating them a little bit offensively.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, Hal. Meanwhile, Madison Booker has missed a career-high 12 straight field goal attempts. And Lauren Betts has held Texas 2 of 10 from the floor when contesting. That's the first ever Big Ten Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Booker guarded by Betts. Here's Lee on the cut. Booker, a wide open attempt. That one misses badly as well. Whoa, look out. Oh my goodness. Booker, when flying into Betts, was out of control, and they both end up in pain. Betts goes down hard, and Booker grabs her leg.
Betts hit her head when she landed on the ground.
Oh my goodness. Looked like Booker went to contest and just kind of lost control of herself and speared Betts. Boom. The back of the head hit the hardwood from Betts. And we'll send things over to Holly.
Guys, just something to bring to your attention. Madison Booker off to a poor shooting night, but I have noticed they've got a wrap below that right knee. Don't see her moving like she normally does.
The ruling on the floor is a personal foul on Texas number 35. The play is under review to see if the criteria for a flagrant foul has been met.
All right, we'll step aside as they take a look. We come back, we'll get some perspective from our rules analyst, Dee Kantner, as we take one more look. Booker.
After review, the foul on Texas number 35 is confirmed. There was no excessive or unnecessary contact. It will be UCLA basketball, a spot throw in on the end line with a new 30-second shot clock.
All right, Dee Kantner, our rules analyst who officiated 26 Final Fours. What do you think, Dee? Should this have been upgraded to a flagrant?
I would not have been surprised had they upgraded it just because of the impact of the contact. However, it is a basketball play, so it meets that criterion, and that's why they leaned that way, because Booker was just going for the ball, made a play on the ball, therefore not being upgraded to the flagrant one.
All right, Dee, thank you very much. 22-19, UCLA in front of Texas. It's been a slog of a start to the third quarter with several reviews, whistles. But a tight game and a trip to the national championship game on the line.
UCLA has done a nice job using Lauren Betts to inbound the basketball, then get it back against the Texas pressure. Hard to deny, 6-7.
Jaquez off to Dugalich. Dugalich elevates, can't bank it in. Jaquez, where'd she come from?
She is just full of energy. Sprints to offense, sprints to defense, that time sprinted to the offensive glass.
Harmon got bumped by Rice.
Jaquez on the last offensive possession for UCLA. Just see her come from the very top of the screen. She was outside the three-point line, and Jordan Lee didn't box her out and just pursued the basketball.
And you can see Vic Schaefer saying, Aaliyah, go, as Crump, the freshman, checks into the game, and Lee goes to the bench. Sometimes those two will play together as well, give Texas their best spacing and their best shooting lineup. Crump stepped out of bounds as Texas turns it over. 7th turnover for the Longhorns. Texas, one of 11 teams all time to enter the Final Four, having won their first 4 games by at least 20 points. South Carolina, another one of those teams. The Gamecocks already through to the national championship game Sunday on ABC. Edgar Walker off the handoff, hounded by Harmon. Dugalich fakes the 3. Lobs it in, Betts, deep catch, easy finish.
Really nice job on the switch. UCLA seeing Lauren Betts inside, getting her the basketball. So hard to stop her, Ryan, when she gets that kind of post position.
Carlton finds the lane, Oldacre pumps it in.
And that's where Texas has had success, when they can force Lauren Betts to come over to help and then find their big inside. That time it was Oldacre.
Oldacre with 8 points. Betts to the corner, Jaquez redirects. Betts on the entry, double comes, and Carlton, looked like Carlton just took it away. They called a held ball, and Vic Schaefer saying, oh, we're off to the races.
Lauren Betts holds it just long enough for Justice Carlton to come in and get the tie up.
I mean, Dee, is there a certain amount of time that you're counting in your head for tie-up versus let it go?
It is your definition of firmly held ball.
Okay.
Okay. We don't have 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, or anything like that, but it's firmly held by definition.
So that was the official's definition of firmly held. Harmon elevates, doesn't get the roll, Betts the box out.
This end of the floor, UCLA has used Lauren Betts kind of like a pivot point. They'll get her the basketball, they will cut around her. Sometimes it's in the post, sometimes it's been more in the high post area.
Eatkins looking in. Jaquez, 7 to shoot. Trying to create. Jaquez, nice little twist, but couldn't finish. Here comes Booker, 2-on-1. Booker needs a bucket, still doesn't have one. It's astonishing to look at the box score and see Madison Booker 1 of 15. Jaquez. And that's going to be a foul on Oldacre. We'll keep things here with UCLA.
Dugalich toggles back and forth between the 2 Texas players on the offensive end, contests, wow, around the rim and out. And you're right, Ryan, we're used to seeing just her shots kind of poof through the basket.
I mean, look what she did the first 4 games of the tournament, 59%. And if you extend it further, as Neefkins can't hit the 3, and you look at her during the 12-game winning streak, she's shooting 60%. 1 of 15 today for the 3-time All-American. Rice finds Betts for the easy lay.
Pick and roll action. That time Lauren Betts sets the screen. Her defender has to help for an extra beat and rolls hard to the basket.
First time in 9 minutes that either team is led by more than 5. Booker, the mid-range, still can't hit. Knocked away by Judd. Oldacre then loses it. Oldacre trying to save it, and it's going to be Texas basketball.
Going back to the on-ball screening action for UCLA on that last possession. You see Oldacre with a hard hedge, but she cannot recover in time. The weak side help is not there either. Textbook offensively.
UCLA not appealing as Betts might have gotten away with a foul there on the push. Here's Crump. Off to Booker. Booker, 5 to shoot, gonna have to create again. Into the corner, Harmon a 3, way off. Oldacre catches, but the shot clock expires. And Vic Schaefer's team can't get anything going offensively, 24%. And Jordan Lee, again, a spectator. I know she struggled shooting last game, 0 for 3 this game. She's been a huge part of their team and their offense. Not getting a lot of minutes so far in this semifinal.
Texas's defense will always keep them in games, but what's made them special the last 2 months has been their ability to score from a variety of positions. Not today.
Harmon comes up with the steal. Rebecca, how about the way UCLA has been ready for the physical challenge of Texas?
Oh, certainly. Corey Close has to be thrilled with that from her team. Coming in, we have to hit first, she said, punch and punch back, and they've absorbed hits, and they've kept on coming.
Holly?
But Corey Close did something that she doesn't usually do. She tried to get her team mad. She showed them a cut-up of just how physical the game was. Texas versus Michigan, all the things that she thought were fouls, and said, they're going to be out here battering us. They're not going to call it. She tried to really put a big chip on their shoulders and make them mad before this game here tonight, so they'd fight through this physicality.
Well, it's worked. Yes. A touchdown lead with under 3 to go in the third. Madison Booker finally getting a breather here for Texas. So Lee and Crump on the floor together. Jaquez, and that's going to be a block on Lee. 4th team foul against Texas.
The way Jaquez always consistently sprints from point A to point B, and it's not just from end to end of the floor, but it's in the quarter court offensively, the way she charged to go get that basketball.
These are the first minutes on the bench in this game for Booker. Rice backing away. Around the bench screen. Knocked away by Harmon. Loose ball, 1 to shoot. Dugalich heaves. That'll be a violation. Boy, Rory Harmon has been so disruptive defensively, trying to keep Texas attached to UCLA.
Certainly, and that's how she's done it for the last 5 years at Texas. And they're going to need Rory Harmon to take on a little bit more here of the scoring load as well. She's been the one player who's been able to get to her spots and been able to score.
She is 4 for 8. The rest of the Longhorns are 6 for 33. Crump trying to turn the corner. Out to Lee. Lee on the drive. Lee twists inside. Still can't hit. Lee now 0 for 4. After 2 for 17 in the Elite 8. And she had started the tournament 15-plus points each of the first 3 games.
Here, using Lauren Betts again, kind of as the pivot point. Get her the basketball and cut around her. We've seen that quite a bit today from UCLA.
That's already a double-double, 10 points, 10 boards. Crump with the foul, and now UCLA will go to the line as Dugalich will shoot 2. First free throws of the game for UCLA. Texas has shot just 2 free throws.
She's a very good team shooting from the free throw line on the season at 78%.
Dugalich at the line. Let's check back in with Hall.
Well, Angela Dugalich was a starter last year for a UCLA team that made it to the Final Four, but this year, 2 games into the season, coach came up to her before each game and said, listen, I'm not going to start you this game, and here's why. You know, she said, I just couldn't bear it if coach had to go through this entire season navigating our feelings and telling one of us we had to sit on the bench or the other one was going to start. She said, I just went to coach and said, I'll come off the bench. And it's worked out really well for UCLA. She's been one of their most impactful players here in the NCAA tournament. And actually, her minutes are up. She said, I trusted Coach Close that I would play, and she's taken one for the team.
And she was pivotal to their Elite 8 win against Duke in that 4th quarter. Carlton around the contact, then lays it in. Dick Schaefer reminds us over and over again that Bridget Carlton was the most physical high school player he had ever recruited. Make that justice, Carlton. Thinking Bridget because of the draft earlier today, the expansion draft, the first pick of it. Here's Betts. That's the little hook, rims off. Loose ball, Cunningham has it. Carlton flips it up and off, gets it back, and that time gets the whistle and the bucket, just as Carlton insisting her way for 2.
Justice Carlton posting up hard and then attacking the basket. Doesn't have success the first time and just head fake, throwing it up there, absorbing the contact.
And you love seeing when your star is struggling and is on the bench, but is that engaged from the bench. That is something every coach loves to see.
One thing Vic Schaefer told us, he said, it's not even how my team celebrates when the starters are in the game, but when the starters are out, they celebrate just as eagerly for their teammates on the floor.
Carlton completes the three-point play. She has the last 5 for Texas. Three-point game and a 5-second violation. The 31st that Texas has forced this season. Or will they award the timeout to UCLA? Now the officials are going to converge and talk about it. One official had said 5 seconds. The other had awarded the timeout. And D, it looks like they're giving the timeout.
Yes, Felicia Granger right in front of a coach close. Recognized the timeout just prior to the 5-second violation.
All right. Let's take a look at it. It's taken a while. And here was Corey trying to call the timeout. And boom, yep, you can see that. What a great shot. Right before the 5-second violation. Our outstanding crew here giving you the definitive look.
One of the interesting things about this, Ryan, is UCLA the entire season had one 5-second violation. That one came against Texas in their meeting in November. Just barely avoids the second.
UCLA a 3-point lead on Texas with under a minute to go in this third quarter. Both teams shooting poorly in the game. UCLA 35% and Texas 26.7%. Rice having trouble getting it in, and that's going to be an offensive foul as Harmon sold the contact, but now it looks like she's in some pain.
Number 5 from UCLA, Charlize Walker, second personal, 4th team.
Harmon has talked about how she wants to be the embodiment of Texas basketball. Passionate, pretty, tough. And yeah, clearly yanking the arm in a little push. Dee Kander nodding her head saying, yes, that is the right call. And Harmon appears okay. Now Harmon has to get it in. Finds Carlton. Carlton is getting it done in the third quarter of this Final Four matchup. Dugalich going for the home run. And a foul on Crump as she got tied up with Jaquez.
Where UCLA, up until this point of the game, had really handled Texas's full court pressure and their ability to inbound very well. They have now been struggling with it here, going for the home run pass. Jaquez calling for the ball.
I don't know. Looked like they got just kind of tied up. And Vic Schaefer upset. D, anything definitive for you there?
They get tied up, but at the end, she gets tripped, and that is why the foul was called. And she trips her up with the contact. I would call it the same way, to be quite honest with you. Vic would be just as mad at me.
Have you experienced that before?
I have many times.
Both free throws good for Jaquez. That ends the 7-0 run with Justice Carlton scoring all 7 of those Texas points.
Go back to her. She has been absolutely what is working for Texas here in the third.
With Booker on the bench, right back to her. Carlton draws 2, fades, can't hit that time, and now UCLA can hold for a final shot. Corey Close telling Gabriela Jaquez, hold for 1. Jaquez, the most wins in UCLA history. Oh, she went up and down and traveled, making her move a little too early, and now Texas will have the final possession of the third. Into Harmon. 5 seconds left. Harmon with 2. Harmon the leaner. No. And that'll do it for the third. UCLA takes a 3-point lead into the fourth quarter of this Final Four matchup. The trip to the national championship game is on the line. Holly Rowe will chat with UCLA coach Corey Close on the other side. Your wallet getting ready to start the fourth quarter of this Final Four matchup. UCLA a 31-28 lead on Texas moments ago. Holly Rowe caught up with UCLA head coach Corey Close.
Coach, it's tightened up here late in this game. What's important for you coming into the fourth quarter to offensively perform?
Well, we gotta not allow it to be a rugby match. It's a darn rugby match, and so we've got to be able to create clean catches and not have them slapping everywhere. It's going to come down to toughness. We knew it was going to be like this, but I feel bad for the fans. 31-28. I mean, it's an ugly basketball game, but we can't do anything about that. We got to be the tougher, more together team.
I was going to say it's a football score, but I didn't want to be inappropriate, but you said it. This is a very physical game. You said you played the anger game with your team to warn them about this. How prepared are they to fight through this right now?
Obviously not enough, but we got to make some adjustments on our press offense, and we got to do a better job of using our screens, and then we'll create mismatches that we can get open on. But we've sort of gone away from that. We got to get back to what we prepared for.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's impact player, brought to you by Marriott Bonvoy and Rory Harmon. What a career at Texas. 155 starts, the all-time leader in program history. 972 assists, the leader in Texas Longhorn history. The same case in steals with 384 of them, and 135 wins, tied for the second most in program history. A second straight Final Four appearance. And players on Texas talked to us about it the other day. They said last year there was a level of satisfaction with just getting here. This year, not that same thing. This year, the job's not finished, and you see how badly Rory Harmon wants this.
Yeah, she plays with so much fire and heart on both ends. 3 steals in this game. She's certainly been impactful, making things difficult for Ledger Walker and any ball handler for UCLA.
And you could hear the frustration in Corey Close's voice, an interview with Holly about the way the game has been officiated and the contact that has been allowed from both teams throughout. Dugalich, wow, lobbed it off the backboard. Betts turns it into free throws. And that's going to be number 4 on Cunningham.
And you heard Corey Close in the interview also talk about screening and taking advantage of some mismatches. And that time they were trying to use Lauren Betts as a screener, get her into the block, and clearly an emphasis on getting Betts the basketball.
Oldacre into the game for Cunningham, who has been the only person in the building in foul trouble tonight with the contact that has been let go. And Betts hits the free throw. Now, Lauren Betts said she watched the film of last year's semifinal loss to UConn at least 10 times afterwards, wanted to sear it in her mind. The pain, the anguish, the lack of performance from UCLA as they got blown out in that game by Connecticut en route to the Huskies' eventual 12th title. UCLA has stepped up to the challenge, and Betts especially as battling through the Texas physicality. A 5-point Bruins lead. Booker still on the bench for Texas. Here's Harmon, mid-range, no. That's what Corey Close wants. She wants Harmon taking it more 16, 17 feet rather than 10 to 12. Kick ball from Lee. Now, I know she's one of 16, but how much longer does Vic Schaefer go before getting Booker back into this game?
We've not seen him do it with Madison Booker, but we have seen him do it in seasons, or games this season with Rory Harmon, where a different player is performing better, and so he leaves one of his starters on the bench. But I can't imagine that Madison Booker will not return here in the fourth quarter. Maybe give her another minute to continue to collect herself and then get her back in the game.
Ledger Walker lobbing, Betts catching, waiting, tossing, Rice hitting on a 3.
Shocking that a foul was not called in the post, but then certainly ends up being an advantage on the three from Rice.
UCLA with an 8-point lead. Lee trying to make it happen. Carlton lost it. Ledger Walker has it. Jaquez ahead of the field, lays it in. It's a double-digit lead for the Bruins.
UCLA continues to handle the physicality of this game, finding ways to score. Here, the pass out. Rice wide open, draining the three, and then Jaquez, after the steal by Ledger Walker, running the floor once again, finishing, absorbing. 10-point lead.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. They certainly do. You know, Texas will send back in Madison Booker as the Longhorns have trailed for more than 29 straight minutes in this game after trailing for a total of under 9 minutes their previous 12. UCLA has started the fourth quarter on a 7-0 run. Holly, what was going on in that last Texas huddle?
Well, there's obviously frustration. Vic Safer saying to his team, we haven't played like this for 2 months. What's going on? We are showing no patience. Nobody's getting downhill, getting to your spots. They're forcing us to play our offense clear out up top. And guys, that is correct. Corey Close told us there's an 11% field goal percentage difference if they just push them out 2 additional feet, and that's what UCLA is doing.
Great stuff, Al. Here's Crump. Crump mid-range is good. Big bucket there from the freshman. Vic Schaefer's talked about, Rebecca, how they've continued to play with an edge throughout this streak as Rice gets fouled by Lee. But yesterday in practice, they were particularly clunky. Seemed to lose some of the rhythm they've been playing with, and now Texas has not had it on the floor today either against UCLA.
Yeah, he said that yesterday in their practice. He said, we haven't kind of had this lack of focus in 7 weeks since that Vanderbilt game that Holly documented earlier.
Lee picks up the foul, or second. Kiki Rice, another one of the UCLA seniors. You're going to see plenty of them on draft night, Monday, April 13th, where UCLA has several players expected to go in the first couple rounds. And Rice hits both free throws.
And one of the reasons that UCLA has been able to extend and force Texas to catch out farther than they want is they have the luxury of 6'7" shot blocker behind them. So they know if they get beat, she can swallow things up in the lane.
Texas goes to its small lineup with Lee and Crump on the floor together, and Booker back in. Lee bounces out, and it's taken by Neepkins. Ledger Walker into Jaquez. Deflected into the arms of Lee. 7:25 to go. UCLA by 10. Booker. This feels like if Texas is going to come back, Booker will have to hit some shots. Booker mid-range. Again, Betts affecting it. Harmon storms in. Can't drop it home. Rebound hugged by Ledger Walker.
And while Texas has gone to a smaller lineup to try to get better spacing and more scoring, it means Carlton is the one not on the floor, and she had been so good for that stretch for Texas.
Lee has not scored, and Booker has just 2 points. Ledger Walker on the drive. Tried to hook a pass inside, out of bounds with 3.4 on the shot clock.
Betts once again on the switch. You just see the impact she has. Stays between Booker and the basket, can contest. So over her career, we've seen times where Lauren Betts has just been in drop coverage. In this game, they've been willing to switch out onto Booker with Betts, and she's done a terrific job against her.
One of the things Corey Close has emphasized to us over the years is Lauren Betts' ability to switch out onto two smaller perimeter players. Certainly going to be a critical part of her skill set when you consider her at the next level. And the officials gonna take a look. Is this being appealed by Texas?
The ruling on the floor is UCLA basketball. The play is being appealed by Texas.
Looks like it just goes off the fingertips of Ledger Walker, doesn't it?
And if it's one, Connor Hickson will be 3 for 3 in his appeals. Yeah, it just hits Ledger Walker. See it hitting Texas. I mean, with how accurate Connor Hickson's been tonight, Vic Schaefer might want to draw up a play for him. A 40-30 lead for UCLA. The winner of this game will face South Carolina Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. The Gamecocks will be vying for a 4th national championship. Meanwhile, Texas, see South Carolina here catching the action of game 2. Texas trying to win a 2nd national championship, their first since 1986. UCLA has not won a title in the NCAA era. They were national champions back in 1978 when it was the AIAW. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot to sing and dance about, South Carolina.
After review, the ball clearly and conclusively touches number 5 for UCLA last. It will be Texas ball on the end line with a new 30-second shot clock. The appeal being successful, they will not be charged for a timeout.
All right, so Texas 3 for 3 on their appeals. Ledger Walker getting a breather. Dugali, Trice, Lauren Betts, Gianna Neepkins, and Gabriela Jaquez, the 5 for UCLA. Oldacre, Lee, Crump, Booker, and Harmon for Texas. There's 2 points combined between Lee and Booker thus far. Here is Lee. Try to go backdoor to Booker. Miscommunication and the pass out of bounds as Texas turns it over.
This Texas team that has just been all on the same page for the last 2 months, and we haven't seen that at all here on the offensive end. Lee thought because Booker's hand was out that she was going to come out to receive the pass instead of curling and going back door.
UCLA has been able to survive their 19 turnovers as Crump slaps it out of bounds. Vic Schaefer, the only coach to ever lead multiple teams to multiple Final Fours. Took Mississippi State in 17 and 18, took Texas last year and this year. Lob it in, Betts, deep catch, and the finish. UCLA with their largest lead of the night.
We've seen that in their last game against Duke. The direct entry right into Lauren Betts over the defender's hands.
Booker spinning, forcing, no. Oldacre is fouled. Madison Booker is 1 for 18 from the floor.
UCLA overloads the side of the floor, and that way there's no help to come in on the other side of Lauren Betts. Beautifully executed sideline out of bounds.
How about what Lauren Betts has been able to do here tonight? 14 points, 10 rebounds, and incredible defense. And a foul here before the ball was inbounded against UCLA. I mean, Rebecca, if you're Texas, just the idea of scoring 12 points in the final 5:50 has to feel daunting.
I mean, it's incredible.
Booker finally gets one to drop after missing 17 straight, and Crump knocks that out of bounds. Does that unleash Booker?
UCLA, a huge key is going to be for them to continue to handle this pressure. You do not want live ball turnovers against this Texas team.
That's what sparks their offense. They've had 19 of the turnovers in this game, but Texas just 10 points off of them. Jaquez goes baseline, tried to force it in. Oldacre, the steal, quickly gets it off to Harmon. Texas running. Crump over to Booker. Lee in the corner. Didn't get to her quick enough to fire from three. Lee nearly loses it. Here's Booker backing away. Booker again short.
Again, the switch from Lauren Betts to contest the shot.
Booker is 2 for 20 from the floor. Dugalich looking in. That's the catch. Booker shading. Neepkins. You bet. Wedging it in there. And UCLA's lead is ballooned to 13. Backdoor Lee finally on the board here in the Final Four.
The time the right side of the floor cleared out so Lee could go make the defender bite and then hit the backdoor cut.
Crump steals the inbound and then is fouled by Neepkins. Crump was just baiting UCLA into that pass.
John Neepkins, how did she get this to drop? It just looked like it was going to boink off the rim, and instead it hit it nicely and just fell right through the basket. You don't often see that.
Well, that shot right there belied the reputation that these rims have been gaining tonight. Season high 21 turnovers for UCLA. Lee, they need it. They've got it. On a three. 8-point game. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
Did look like when Dugalich was dribbling that she extended her left hand, creating the contact.
D, jump in. What do you think?
Correct call is what I think. Absolutely.
All right, Corey Close didn't like it. Texas finally has something brewing offensively. Lee with 5 straight. 22 turnovers for the Bruins. Booker, this time on the move, gets denied by Dugalich. And it is going to be UCLA basketball. No, they'll say it remains with Texas, but will UCLA appeal it? Oh, that last hit's Booker, and UCLA is going to appeal it. What a huge play by Dugalich, who's just made so many winning plays in this tournament. And clearly it last hits the arm of Booker. UCLA, 5 of 7 on the season in these appeals. Let's take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance with Lauren Betts.
I mean, how good has she been on both ends of the floor? 6 of 9 for 14 points. You see her in the middle of the floor. The way UCLA is using her in ball screens. Screen and roll. It's simple. And with the hard hedge coming from Oldacre, that gives her the space. Lauren Betts catching. Patience, seeing how many defenders are collapsing on her, makes the pass out to Kiki Rice for the 3, setting the screen with the overload on the right side of the floor. Catch, gather, finish, and then on the defensive end of the floor, able to continually switch out onto Madison Booker and contest and make the shots difficult.
Can we kill the music?
Sure, Kyle, we can. Give us a sec.
After review, the ball clearly and conclusively goes off the elbow of Texas number 35. It will be UCLA basketball with a new 30-second shot clock. With the successful appeal, they will not be charged a timeout.
This is a game that has so much, you've had so much difficulty finding a rhythm. And then you add all of these appeals and reviews, there's just been zero rhythm to this game.
I couldn't agree more.
But you knew that there was something brewing. It wasn't just Lauren Betts who was doing the twirly finger. All 5 UCLA players looked at Corey Close saying, clearly, we need to appeal and review that play.
Texas has scored 5 straight. It's UCLA leading by 8 with 3:35 to go in the 4th. National championship game will be Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Gamecocks await the winner of this one. Ledger Walker, such an incredible leader for this UCLA team. Into Betts. Betts kicks it out, right back. Betts looking cross court. Gonna try and take it herself. Betts gets it to go. What a tough bucket for the All-American.
Her poise to get the basketball, pass it back out, and then face up with the shot clock going down, able to finish.
Lead back to double digits. Under 3 minutes to go. Booker 2 for 21. Lee leaning, doesn't get the roll. Oldacre gets fouled. And Kyla Oldacre is going to shoot 2.
Lauren Betts will always continue to work and gets the ball, passes it back out when the double comes. And here, faces up, recognizes the shot clock going down, makes the move, tough finish. She's felt comfortable all game long on both ends.
And Lauren Betts has been an incredible regular season player in her career, but she has been an even better postseason player. Look at those numbers in the tournament, just remarkable. She's one of 4 players all time to have 600 points, 300 rebounds, 100 assists, and 70 blocks in a season. And having a big game tonight. Booker off the miss, out to Lee. Lee on the drive, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with Texas. Gianna Neefkins will come and grab Ledger Walker.
UCLA was in rotation. Lauren Betts was out on Booker. Rice here on Lee.
Yeah.
Hand part of the ball.
He says right call. Booker wheeling back. Booker gets that one to fall. 7-point game, still a lot of time left. 2:20 to go. And that is going to be timeout taken by Corey Close. Again flirted with a 5-second violation. But UCLA will spend the timeout with Texas on a little 8-2 run.
And anytime, Ryan, that a game is close in the last couple of minutes, timeouts can be precious. And of course, she should have used one there. You can't afford to not have that possession, but you also want your team to be able to get the ball inbound so you have those extra opportunities late game if you need them.
Texas's only lead of the night when it was 2-0. UCLA has maintained a modest lead for the rest of the evening as Booker finally gets that satiny step back to drop.
Betts right there once again, but we're used to seeing Madison Booker hit tough shots with that fadeaway over big defenders consistently, and she just has not been able to do that to this point.
2:18 to go in the 4th. Jaquez gets it in. Rice racing up the floor. Guarded by Harmon. 5th-year senior. Now Dugalich leaning, doesn't get the roll. What a rebound from Oldacre. Oldacre fights off a couple of defenders. That was important because UCLA has the possession arrow. Oldacre looking to take it in on Betts. Oldacre makes it a 5-point game. Things getting interesting here in the desert. Jaquez having trouble getting it in. Finally gets it to Dugalich. Into Betts. 5-point game. A trip to the championship game on the line. Rice. 13 on the shot clock. Rice guarded by Harmon, and Harmon takes it away. Here comes Harmon. Held up by Rice. Lee into the paint. Twisting and banking. It's a one-possession game. Texas has come alive. And UCLA will take another timeout.
We've talked about Rory Harmon and her presence on the defensive end of the floor, how disruptive she can be. She makes life difficult for any ball handler. There, Kiki Rice just loses the handle on the basketball, and then Jordan Lee continues to attack. Little pump fake to get Jaquez off balance, and a clean look at the basket.
Texas on a 12-2 run, trying to make their first title game appearance since 1986. UCLA trying to make their first in the NCAA era.
The last few possessions, when UCLA has been trying to inbound the basketball, they've been waiting so they can set up, but it's also allowed Texas to set up in the full court pressure. It's looked to me a couple times like if they could have just gotten the ball out of the basket and inbounded quickly, it would have been a little bit cleaner.
UCLA led this game 45-32 with 4:36 to go. Can't say enough about Jordan Lee, the way she's come alive here after the early struggles for Texas. Meanwhile, UCLA with the basketball now, just one timeout remaining.
And we know they've had some success in this tournament, including tonight with the direct entry inbound pass right to Lauren Betts. Rory Harmon playing way off of Ledger Walker, though, making it difficult.
Into Jaquez. Betts gets it. Betts guarded by Oldacre. Kicks it out into the corner. Ugalich. Back out to Ledger Walker, letting some clock wind. 3-point UCLA lead. Shot clock at 8. Ugalich with it at 7. Ugalich can't hit. Rebound Booker. Texas has it down 3. Booker wheeling up the floor. Booker into the paint, gets denied! Lauren Betts with a block for the ages.
Wow, in a game where much of the story has been Lauren Betts on the defensive end of the floor and how she has been able to limit Madison. Booker comes up with a monster block.
Lauren Betts fired up. Vic Schaefer let his team go, didn't use a timeout there. And Booker now 3 for 23 on the night. Remember, this is always difficult for Texas opponents, just getting it inbounds. And how about this? Now UCLA is out of timeouts. Corey Close will call her final timeout, 3rd time here in this 4th quarter. She's had to spend one to avoid a 5-second violation. One thing to keep in mind here, you mentioned it earlier, partner, UCLA, a very good free throw shooting team. On the season, 78% as a team, that's 19th in the country. Texas still has one foul to give. And they have forced UCLA into a season-high 23 turnovers tonight.
And certainly that's got to be the message for Vic Schaefer in this timeout, is just try to get a steal off of this inbound. We saw the last time UCLA inbounding, Rory Harmon was not guarding the inbounder. She was kind of playing free safety. That's a good way to try to get the steal.
There's such desperation for both of these teams. UCLA with 6 seniors, Texas with Rory Harmon, the heart of their program. The face of this Vic Schaefer rebuild, winding her collegiate career to a close.
Charlize Ledger Walker is the weakest free throw shooter on the floor for UCLA, but she's their inbounder anyway as their best passer.
You can see Corey Close trying to set the tone. Hey, I want you to watch for the reaching, the grabbing. Meanwhile, I don't know that she's going to be able to watch it all. So they advance it into the front court.
you can inbound into the backcourt.
Ledger Walker looking for Neepkins. Bounces in Rice. Rice not fouled yet, now is by Lee. Texas had one to give. 14.8 remaining in the fourth, and UCLA a 3-point lead.
Kiki Rice, a 90% free throw shooter, so if you're UCLA, ideally you can get the ball into her hands, but of course, from what we've seen, you just need to get it in at all.
Texas now out of fouls to give. What's going on here? Vic Schaefer is going to take a timeout. Texas will have just one remaining. Now, we see this in the college game where coaches will take timeouts to set up their defense, even at the expense of potentially being able to advance the basketball later. Vic does still have one remaining, but spending 1 year to set up this day.
I think that's the key. He felt like he has one remaining. He can always use that to advance the basketball. Knows how important it is here for his team to try to get a steal or the defensive stop.
From Harmon, Oldacre, Booker, Lee, the 5 for Texas. Betts, Ledger Walker, Neepkins, Rice, and Jaquez for UCLA. Ledger Walker to inbound. Charlize looking in, doesn't have a timeout, does have Kiki Rice. She is fouled, and that is who you'd want at the line if you're UCLA. 90% on the season, 86% in her career. Rice trying to make it a 2-possession game. And hits the first. 4-point game. Rice got them both. 5-point game, and now Vic Schaefer will take his final timeout. And that is where using the timeout to set up your defense costs you. Because if Texas is going to win this game, they're going to have an additional offensive possession, and they won't be able to advance the basketball now.
Precisely.
And we see it time and time again with great coaches in the college game who take those timeouts to set up their defense at the expense of being able to advance it later. Meanwhile, Texas actually had the ball in this quarter after being down by 13 with 4:36 to go. They cut it to 3, had possession, and Madison Booker in transition, denied by Lauren Betts.
And Madison Booker went in and tried to shield herself from getting blocked by using her body and contorting in the air, and Lauren Betts was just right there tracking it the whole time. Not only to block the shot, Ryan, but block it in a way where it stayed in bounds and that she could corral it. That was a huge play, maybe a season-saving play for UCLA.
Maybe a forever play for UCLA. Who will face South Carolina Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC? The Gamecocks ending UConn's 54-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for Texas, got to score in a hurry.
Yeah, certainly have to score in a hurry. It's a bonus if you can get a 3, especially considering the way UCLA shoots the free throws.
13 seconds remaining, UCLA by 5. Oldacre back to Booker. Booker dives in, lost her footing, keeps the ball, gets it to Oldacre, mid-range, way off. Dugalich the rebound, Rice has it! And UCLA can taste it! The junior Booker, 3 for 23, will be back, but Rory Harmon will not. And this is certainly not the ending Texas was hoping for to Rory's story. Rice at the line, hits another. It is all cosmetic at this point. Corey close on the precipice of history for her program. As Rice hits them both, and Rory Harmon will get her much-deserved ovation right now. You could see the emotion starting to well up for Rory Harmon in this moment with her head coach, an iconic player in this program's history. As UCLA empties their bench, and that will do it. UCLA is not done dancing. The Bruins will play for a national championship for the first time in the NCAA era. Dick and Rory continue to hug as the emotion overwhelming the star point guard. But it's UCLA who will meet South Carolina Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. We'll be back here in a moment with a Holly Rowe interview, but for our producer, Kerry Callahan, our director, Jimmy Platt, Dee Kantner, Holly Rowe.